Today I wanted to talk about the Kodak H35N half-frame camera coming up. Hey guys, thanks for checking out this video. If you're new here, please consider subscribing below. We put out new videos all the time. So I've really been into analog filmmaking, but truth be told, I'm not very good at it. And I'm not very good at it because I haven't spent a lot of time doing it. Typically I make videos, and it's very difficult to go in between, using a video camera. Sometimes I have my kids with me dealing with 3 kids, and then to swap over and use one of these. Recently for work, I had to go out to London, so I figured I got no kids with me. This is the perfect time. I'll make some videos, I'll sightsee, and I'll test out this half-frame camera. And here's some of the photos that I took while I was out there. All right, so here are the photos that I took. So the one thing I wish I knew is when I was holding the camera horizontally, it was going to be taking vertical pictures. And I hope I'm saying that right, but basically, I was taking photos like this, but when they are printing out, they're not coming out this way. They're coming out this way. So I didn't know that because it's half frame and the way they split the frame is actually this way. So it's very disorienting for me, and I really cannot explain it any better than that. I'm sorry. Okay, so this is nearby where the hotel I was staying at. And you can see it's not the sharpest. None of the pictures come out super sharp or anything like that. But it was, a typical overcast day like you see in all the movies about London. It was kind of dreary, rainy, wet, and foggy. I like the colors that come out. Now, again, some of these might be due to the scanning process. So this was scanned by the darkroom. It was the first time I ever used the darkroom as a company. It took a little longer than my local photo development company, but they did seemingly a good job here. And I just this was shot on Kodak. It did seem a little dark for what I'm used to. And again, I'm not a professional. I'm not very good at taking photos. Where the Beatles had their final performance was on top of this rooftop here. You can see there's a little placard, and that's one thing that London does really well is put markers on everything. And that's where the Beatles actually did their last concert performance. Now, a typical tourist, I was literally stuck in a cab for about an hour just going, 5 miles or something like that. It was crazy. So I got some photos out the windows. And your standard tourist stuff I thought was good to grab. But if you notice, I don't know if it comes across on the screen right now, but the reds aren't super red. It's kind of like a flat look to it. But, and again, this is one that I took vertically, and it came out horizontally. So I had no idea going in that was the case. I probably should have done some research. But in the end, it worked out. All the pictures pretty much, I got what I wanted in the frame anyway. I just wish I knew that ahead of time. Buckingham Palace, I'm a big fan of the Crown and the British royal family, so I spent quite a number of hours around all the touristy royal spots. And so this was done with the flash on, and I found that the flash didn't seem to work out too well for me. It seemed like it made the scene darker, and again, I'm a real novice, so I probably am doing something wrong. But it seemed like every time I used the flash, even here, it made everything darker. And just trying to fix some of these photos in Photoshop, you just really pick up grain. I'm sure somebody who's more experienced with Photoshop could do a better job of it, but I am not that person. Really love how all these kind of look, even though, there's a number of them that just aren't in focus. And there are some that I was just walking and snapping photos at the same time, so probably my fault as well. Abbey Road, more Beatles stuff. So basically, that's pretty much, this was my meal one day, so how artsy. All the different train spots. That's probably, out of all of them, this is probably the best one. It was just a really nice sunset, but unfortunately you don't really see the sunset, but I still think the shadows look awesome in this photo. And so this is probably my favorite photo I took on this particular camera while I was over there. And I got towards the end of the roll of film as I was on my way to the airport, and I just kind of used up the rest of the roll of film while I was in the airport. And all of these photos I would say are incredibly too dark, and these are a mixture of using the flash and not using the flash. So I don't know exactly what I was doing wrong. I'm sure there's people out there who could tell me what I was doing wrong. And that was a photo of my wife on Halloween, my last shot in the camera. So all in all, it was a fun camera. It's easy to use. There's not a whole lot to it. You load the film, and there's a million other tutorials out there that show you how to load the film, and they're way better than anything I can do. And you have your flash on and off, and you have a button for like an automatic shutter or a timer. Never gonna use that in my life. But it was a lot of fun, and above all else, for me, I mean, probably besides the quality of the photos, which is not super great, but again, might be my fault. The most important thing for me is ease of use. I could literally just take this out of my pocket, snap a photo, and then put it back away. It was a fun camera. I love the look of it. It is a little plasticky, but I just think it's a really nice looking camera. I like how old school it looks. Like even the little, if you can see in there, even that like kind of design, like you don't see that stuff anymore. And I just thought it was a really cool and fun camera. That's all for this video. If you liked it, beat the shit out of the like button, and we'll see you next time.